Well, if you guys, are any of you guys fans of Augustin Burroughs? I call this move the Bible dip. This is the Bible dip. Okay. What do we got? Ooh. No, I'm not gonna cheat. It's kind of it's a sad part. In keeping with our theme. Okay, I'll read it anyway. I mean, if you want, I could read you the whole section, which is like one of the most devastatingly sad parts of the book. And do any of you guys have to work tomorrow? No. This is gonna be a long show. Okay, I know also the other thing is this is the only show of the entire tour that isn't seated. So I'm trying to be aware of the fact that you guys are going to be standing there for 3 hours. I figure if you get tired, you'll just like go snuggle into a corner and find a chair. Okay. You trust people too much, Amanda. I figured it was good to trust people too much, better than the other way around, right? One of my favorite ninja gigs of all time was on Hermosa Beach in Los Angeles. I was staying with my cousins, Catherine and Robert, and I was beside myself to discover that Robert, age 87, could not only play the ukulele, he could shred the ukulele. He was like the Hendrix of the ukulele, and better yet, he knew kinky songs from the Prohibition era about booze and women. So I twittered the next morning that I would play on the beach that afternoon. I joined my ukulele shredding cousin and I requested people to come dressed for a group photo shoot. My request was granted. Hundreds of Angelinos converged in all sorts of costumes. And after I'd played for about 2 hours, I tried something new. I told people that the gig was, of course, free of charge, but if they felt so moved, they could toss money into my ukulele case, which is a wonderfully shabby old antique trumpet case that I found in the trash that also serves as a handy purse, which is nice because I hate purses. And I left the case wide open on the sand, tossed my treasured kimono down next to it, and gave my ukulele to a volunteer guardian. And as the evening wore on, I chatted and signed random things, hugged people on the beach, and took pictures. And out of the corner of my eye, I could see the first person drop a few dollars into the ukulele case. And when I finally went back up the beach, after a few hours, the last of the revelers were packing up their blankets, and what I saw was shocking. My ukulele case was filled with offerings, about $400 in rumpled bills and flowers and love notes and loose change, but that wasn't what shocked me. What shocked me was this. I had left my cell phone, my keys, and my wallet in the ukulele case, in plain view, and nobody had taken them. Right around the time of my insomniac meltdown, as the sun rose and the sheep mourned, which happens earlier in the book, before the Scottish family wedding party, I had been battling a nasty urinary tract infection. And by the day after the party, which went fine, it had morphed its evil, sneaky way into a full-blown kidney infection, and I found an emergency health clinic in the Royal Scottish Highlands to treat me. Before the nurse gave me the high-powered antibiotics I'd been prescribed, she asked, was I allergic to anything? No. Was I pregnant? No. Was I taking any other medication? I wanted to make a joke about how she might refer me to a psychiatric professional because I felt like I was losing my mind, but she looked so nice and Scottish, so I did. She handed me the antibiotics, and they worked. The kidney infection cleared up within a few days, which was good because we rented a big place in Edinburgh for a month to accommodate a ton of house guests, plus Neil's kids, plus my band. I had a string of shows booked and a bunch of rehearsing to-dos to start prepping the Kickstarter. And we'd been looking forward to this month-long working vacation for a while, anticipating a non-stop parade of dinner parties and theater outings and spontaneous Fringe Festival adventures. But I wasn't in the mood for fun. My body hurt, my soul hurt, my skin was breaking out. I'd been listlessly staying in bed. That wasn't like me. The night before the family party, had frightened me and I couldn't shake the crazy feeling. And one afternoon, while Neil was off doing press and all of our guests were off at fun activities, I didn't have band rehearsal and I decided to peel myself out of bed and go for a jog. It was a frigid, foggy day, the type you keep thinking just shouldn't happen in the month of August, no matter how many times you've been to Scotland in the summer. I stepped outside, bundled in running gear, a sweater, a scarf, and started to run, and I felt the life force slowly oozing back into me. I looked like shit, I felt like shit, but goddamn it, I had left the house. I took a deep breath, looking at the beauty of the old Scottish architecture, and felt my mood finally lifting for the first time in days. 4 blocks later, I slipped on a loose brick of the sidewalk and twisted my ankle. I lay there sprawled on the bricks, emitting a small moan, while ready to explode with laughter at the poetry of it all. Really? I couldn't put any weight on my foot. I was going to need to ask a passing stranger for help. I had nothing on me, no phone, no money, just my house key. It was a quiet street, but a woman about my age wearing a raincoat saw me and stopped to help. And then another woman, an older one, stopped. My fellow humans were coming to my aid. "Are you all right there?" one of them said. "No, actually, I'm not," I said, trying to look amiable. "I've twisted my ankle, and I can't get up, I can't walk." "Oh dear," said the older woman. Then a third woman wandered up behind them. "Do you need an ambulance?" the first woman asked. I tried to get up to put a little weight on my ankle, but it shot back lightning signals of agony. "I don't know," I said, trying not to cry. "I think it's just twisted, but I don't think I need a hospital. I just need to get home, but I can't walk." "How can we help?" "Yes, is there anything we can do?" They huddled around me in a concerned triptych, like a bunch of mother hens. I grimaced as a new searing pain shot up my leg, but I tried to express my gratitude. "Yes, actually, thank you. You guys are really kind. Could one of you just grab a cab and hop in with me? And I'm going like 4 blocks away, and could one of you just walk me to my door so I can pay the cab driver?" The 3 women all looked at one another, then at me, and collectively said, "Now." "But is there anything else we can do to help?" I was dumbstruck and humiliated. "Are you sure you wouldn't like us to just call an ambulance?" Did they think that I was trying to trick them? I was a 35-year-old woman in jogging clothes with a twisted ankle on a quiet street in Scotland. We weren't in a fucking Dickens novel. One of them was at least kind enough to help me hobble over to a passing cab, and I threw myself at the mercy of the driver, who drove me the 4 blocks, took my arm, and half carried me up to our front door and into the kitchen, where I thanked him profusely and gave him a £20 tip. "Are you all right, love?" he asked kindly. I knew I looked like hell. "Are you sure?" "Yes, I'm fine. I'm great. Thank you so much for helping me." He left, closing the door behind him. And then I hopped over to the sink, ran some cold water on my leg, and started sobbing uncontrollably. And in that moment, I couldn't tell which hurt more, my ankle or my heart. Brene Brown writes, in a 2011 study funded by the National Institute on Drug Abuse, researchers found that as far as the brain is concerned, physical pain and intense experiences of social rejection hurt in the same way. Neuroscience advances confirm what we've known all along. Emotions can hurt and cause pain, and just as we often struggle to define physical pain, describing emotional pain is difficult. Shame is particularly hard because it hates having words wrapped around it. It hates being spoken.